Everybody, welcome to the Gardener's Workshop live shopping show, where we're come to you live every Friday at 12 noon. Welcome all my flower friends. So today's shows, we're sharing my method of sunflower succession, planting, abundant harvest right up to the first frost. And I'm going to be demonstrating how I sow those sunflowers two ways: in plug trays and in large soil blocks, if you're a home gardener. We're going to be showcasing my favorite sunflower seed collections and mixes. We make those mixes in-house here at the Gardener's Workshop. And one happy viewer is going to win a free prize, which we love giving them away every week. And remember, at the end of the show, I do a little Q&A. So if you have a question, all you have to do is post it in the comments. If you're here inside the app, put @Lisa and put whatever your question is, and the team gathers those up at the end of the show and pick a couple for me to answer, because y'all know I love answering questions. Now, before we get started, if you're inside the app, which I hope you are, please hit that share button that's down in the bottom right-hand corner and let your friends know that you're here and all about the show. We appreciate all that y'all do for us. We have new people every single week and lots of new downloads of our app, and we thank you all, because that's all because of y'all, right? And we appreciate it so very, very much. Now, friends, we have a special Hello Summer sale coming along that's going on right now. You will save $10 on a $50 product order now through Sunday evening. That's going through midnight on Sunday, so that's even better. So you can shop right up until midnight Sunday. And this coupon code, I'm just gonna hold it up here, which is DEAL, DEAL, is good here in the app, and it's good on our website. So no matter what you're in market for, you can actually get it. It's for in-stock products only while supplies last, and it excludes gift cards, online courses, shipping costs, and prior purchases. And so you just use this coupon code DEAL at checkout. And that's just a special little incentive. I'm thinking you need to be sure you're in line for your succession planting. So don't forget to use your coupon code to get $10 off of an order for $50 or more. Now, a little housekeeping is that if you double check here in the app what your email address and your phone number, because we see lots of typos, and if we have to reach out about a shipping question or something. So if you'll just be sure to check that out, that'd be really helpful. Remember that all seed only orders here inside the app only ship for free, y'all. No shipping charge to you. And then if you purchase products, the shipping charge is capped at $9.95. That means it doesn't matter how much you buy, you just pay $9.95 for shipping when you're purchasing products. And we do ship to all 50 of the United States. Now, if you're watching us on social media, Instagram or Facebook, we are so glad that you've dropped in. Welcome aboard. We are thrilled you're here, but we want you to know that there's an even funner way to enjoy the show, and that is through our phone app. Lots more features. It's just easier to maneuver. You can join in on the comments that are going on in the show. We can see your comments that way. So you can just go to your phone's app store, search Gardener's Workshop. It is free. Download it quickly and jump back over here before the show really gets started, because you can do things in there like build a favorites list. You can watch replays, and you can comment amongst the other viewers, which is pretty lively conversation that goes on in there most weeks.
So give a shout out to Sheetal. She's from India watching us.
Sheetal's from India. Hi, welcome aboard, India. Glad that you're here. And now something that happens every single week, because our phone app and our big website do not talk to each other, y'all. Oftentimes when we sell out of stuff here in the app, when you go to put it in your cart to purchase it, it'll say out of stock, get on the wait list. You want to get on that wait list because sometimes the team is working behind the scenes to bring stock over from our website to replenish, and you'll get a ding for that. For instance, if you wanted to take advantage of the Hello Summer sale on something, that might in fact be the case. So get on the wait list. That's all it means, is you're getting a notification. And friends, we absolutely adore it when our students post the sunflower emoji in the comments. If you're seeing sunflower emojis, that's what that's all about. See, that's what our logo is the sunflower. Sunflower is pretty important to us for a lot of different reasons. And so we love it when you identify with us and that you're part of the TGW family. And I just want to let everybody know, guess what's going to come on the show today? Are y'all surprised? A little Pabst Blue Ribbon beer. Wait till you see what I'm going to use that for. We're going to pop that top. All right, friends. Today I am giving away to one lucky viewer a $25 store credit. Suzanne has brought up the button. It says buy, but you're not buying anything. That's going to put you on the list. Hit that button, and then at the end of the show, we will select one lucky viewer to get $25 store credit. It's awesome, y'all. That means that lucky viewer go to their cart and they're sitting as a $25 store credit. So be sure to get on board. Now, friends, you know, we know because of the questions we get every single day that there are so many of you that just would benefit from the Cut Flower Handbook. This really explains the cut flower garden concept, the cool and warm season succession business, and then a whole section on how to do all the steps of it, plus 66 featured flowers, from how to start the seed, what it looks like, my growing and harvesting tips, and my favorites. The Cut Flower Handbook, also when you purchase it from us, comes with a special download of the flowers that didn't make the book. This is a hardback 8x11 book with over 220 beautiful images in it, of which my sis took about a third of them. So I would just love to sign a book for you. So the book is $30, and it is just a quick, easy access reference tool that you can use. And my other books, Vegetables Love Flowers, really is a great, this is not about vegetables, y'all. This is about why vegetables benefit and love flowers. And by having a small cutting garden in your vegetable patch, how it just brings all the good creatures in that we really want in our garden, and how to keep the presence of flowers in your vegetable patch by keeping your cutting garden cut, right? But my favorite part of this book, besides telling you, you know, my love stories in all these books, y'all, different parts of it with my man that just made all this possible, right, is that I share in here how I don't use pesticides and how I do that here on our farm. We don't even use organic pesticides. So Vegetables Love Flowers, and this book actually comes with a free video book study. It's like a behind the scenes. I talk to the photographer. Suzanne and I have a little chit chat in there. So Vegetables Love Flowers is $25.95, and it's really about my natural growing philosophy. It's got a 3-season garden layout. And I would love to sign one of these for you. And friends, the book that started it all, did you know that this is the 10th year anniversary of Cool Flowers? We have so many hot projects on the burner about this. So Cool Flowers is my first book. This explains the cool season hardy annual concept plants with the cool flower concept, meaning how we figure out, no matter where you are, we can all plant cool flowers. We just perhaps plant them on different timing. This book is the basic foundation concept that is the first jumping off point. I would love to sign one of these for you. This book is $22.95. It's written on home gardeners based on my 25 years of commercial farming, but it is very easily applied to flower farming, which flower farmers all over the world are doing, y'all. And it also comes with a video book study series. So I'd really love to sign one of these for you. All right, so the talking points that I really want to hit home with you guys today is about sunflower succession planting. It's perhaps the most missed the boat in the flower farming world. But if you're a home gardener, I'm going to show you how you can also follow along with this philosophy. So the bottom line is this, that we plant single stem sunflowers every single week for a continuous bounty of harvest. And you're going to see that today. We have 2 5-gallon buckets slam full of sunflowers that we had to pick from today. So just imagine having sunflowers as the feature flower in your fall bouquets. So for instance, when I'm starting the very first sunflowers, which is before our last spring frost, I'm thinking these are going to be blooming in 60 days. I want springy colors. So I plant springy colors, right? And then as we go into the summer, like now, I am planting the bright oranges with the big brown disc, the classic sunflower. But imagine in the fall changing to some of the bicolored sunflowers or the chocolate colored sunflowers to have for those bouquets. It is pretty beautiful, and today I'll be able to show you, when I show you the sunflowers, you can make a bouquet of just sunflowers. That's why one of our mixes is that. So how late can you plant sunflowers? So we typically plant pro cuts. That's a series of sunflowers. It's the same type of sunflower, but it's in like 13 or 14 different colors. So to find what your last planting date is, you need to know your first expected frost date, and you need to know how many days that seed is from seed to bloom. That's typically on your seed packet. Like for instance, on Pro Cuts, it says 55 to 60 days. So you look at your first expected frost date and say, mine's mid-November. So if I push the limits of, going by the clock, I would say that mid-September, that would be mid-September to October to November. That's basically 60 days, right? So I would want to not start sunflowers typically beyond that date, right? Because typically they're going to frost and you're going to lose them. But we often push the envelope, and I actually continue starting sunflowers every week, even with my mid-November frost date. I continue to start them until October 1st because sometimes that frost doesn't happen on time, and it is a huge cash crop at that time of the year. So don't be afraid to really push the limits. Seeds are inexpensive, but thinking about if you potentially lose them. But let me just tell you something. To have 100 or 1,000 or 2,000 stems of sunflowers at the fall farmers markets, y'all, that'll be priceless, right? So trying to have sunflowers for a fall event, we actually plant. So if I was going to have an event on a given weekend, and I'm not planting every week, I would plant targeting that event date, but I would target 2 weeks before that and 2 weeks after that, meaning I would make 5 plantings. That way you are really, really covered. So planting an extra week or 2 are your just-in-case flowers, and it just helps you to sleep more at night. Now, remember that as you move into the fall, sunflowers, all flowers, typically because the days are shortening, right, may be smaller and they may take a little bit longer. So you need to take all those things into account. All right, so let's sow some sunflowers. Now, if you're a flower farmer, this is the way that we start sunflowers. Should I have more seeds than this, you think? Okay. Or am I just going to do
a row?
Yeah, so I'm not going to do this whole tray, y'all. So first off, we turn the tray the other way. So we plant sunflowers because of the volume that we start. We plant them in 128 plug trays, and we use regular potting soil, not blocking mix, right? This is just regular old potting soil mixed 50-50 with compost. So the way that why we plant in plug trays is you would need to use the larger blocker, which I'm going to actually demonstrate for the home gardeners here in a moment. But because of the volume that we want to start, I use a plug tray. Can you see me just dropping them right on the surface? And I'm just going to do 2 rows here so you guys can see
and if
how.
the comments are in your way, just Swipe your comments. Yeah.
So I just dropped a seed. So this 128 plug tray is full of potting soil and compost 50-50 mixed together. I've now just dropped the sunflower seeds on the surface. Remember, sunflowers prefer darkness to sprout best. And so I'm placing my finger on the seed and I'm just pushing them down into the plug tray. Now see how you can still see the seed over here and maybe a little bit there? When I take this tray into my grow room and water this tray, that washes the soil. We'll pretend that I'm watering, y'all. It just pushes the rest of the soil down on top, so you do not need to do anything else. So this is our heavy duty tray, and so these are more durable than many other trays. They're kind of like our green hard trays, and they're featured. They're not normally here in the app because the shipping is more than $9.95 typically. I mean, it costs us more than $9.95, and that's that's the deal of the day, is that we are selling 5 packs of these trays, and you only pay $9.95 shipping. So again, these are the heavy duty plug trays, and you can get 5 of these trays for $29.95, or the popular size of 25 trays for $129.95. And just a tip to keep in mind, don't store your trays in the sunlight. It's the sun that just really breaks them down. And look at this, which is also here in the app that we don't usually feature. This is the bottom tray. This is also a heavy duty tray that maybe, should we go up now, or are we doing soil blocking? Okay. I wanted to show you this. This is a super heavy duty tray that you can makes watering your sunflowers so much easier. A 5 pack of these are $29.95, and a 25 pack is $129.95. And so these have no holes, so that you can water your sunflowers inside and not worry about them draining everywhere. So now let me show you how, if you're a home gardener and you want to get in on this, making sunflowers be a part of your garden all season long, right? So this is the blocking mix, which we sell the ready-made. And this will add a little bit of water. I'm not sure I'm finished with that yet.
Okay.
So I'm just, probably one of the struggles that people have with soil blocking is they don't put enough water and it makes the blocks hard to come out. So let's see if I got it right this time. So I'm taking, this is the 2-inch blocker, and it actually has, it comes with this nipple on it to make a dimple that makes a perfect indentation up on the top of the block to receive a seed. And I use, y'all, a potato masher to strike off the bottom. And then I use, this is our large tray, flat bottom, no drainage holes. And there you go. Now, if I was a home gardener, you can put 2 rows on here. So you can actually start 8 sunflowers a week. That may be what you want. Or maybe if you're a home gardener, every other week. You know, you don't have to do it every week. I will need a toothpick. I'm going to drop a seed into each little hole. And because, as I said earlier, sunflowers germinate best when they are covered. You know, the seed packet will say things like cover, or it'll say sprouts best in darkness. See how I'm just pushing it deeper into the block? That's how you cover a seed in soil blocking.
Because you wouldn't water from the top, right?
Right, so yeah, because you don't water soil blocks from the top. Good point, Kelly. So we're just pushing them down, and that, it's as simple as that. And then both of these, whether you're in a plug tray or in this tray, we then take these guys over to the seedling heat mat, where they will stay until they sprout. 50% of them sprout, and then we move them onto the grow light. And that's how you can start sunflowers. You can take that. That's how you can start sunflowers every single week. All right, so yeah, let's go back up. Stand by for a camera change, y'all. All right, so let's straighten me up. I am pretty crooked, but now I'm not. All right, So friends, so this is that 2-inch blocker. You know, we import these from England, from the this is the Ladbroke, and it comes equipped, oh, the nipple, where is the nipples? So the nipples come separately in the package. I mean, you actually put them on. That white little nipple right there, you just pop it into those holes. It comes with it, but you have to pop them in. And so it's ready to receive a large seed. Now the large blocker is $46.95, and this makes 4 of those 2-inch blocks. Now, the mix that I was using is actually this ready-made mix that comes with everything you need to get started with soil blocking. You just add water and make blocks. This bag makes approximately 24 to 28 of those 2-inch blocks, versus when you do the small blocker, which is too small for sunflowers, makes about 500. So that's why we typically try to use the small blocker, but for the sunflowers, the 2-inch blocker is perfect, and this will get you started with that. Now, if you want to make your own blocking mix at home, and even we recommend sifting all seed starting mix. Doesn't matter what brand it is or what's actually where it comes from, or if you're making it yourself. This sifter fits perfectly on top of a 5-gallon bucket, which makes it so easy, y'all. You will not believe how many chunks and lumps and bumps there are in peat moss, compost, and in the soil block, seed starting mix, and the blocking mix. That's just the nature of it. So this is the sifter, and it's $24.95, and shipping on that would be $9.95. And again, it doesn't matter how much you buy, how many products, shipping is just $9.95 on the products. This revolutionizes your seed starting mix life for sure. Now, those foam trays I was using earlier, so these are foam trays, y'all. We do not intend for them to be disposed of. These are reusable from year to year. We use them for years. So this is the mini size. This is a perfect size to hold 20 of the 3/4-inch blocks. This is what Bobo just started some jalapenos for us for here on the farm, and when we start our tomatoes, you know, we don't need 100 or 240 of those. So this is really perfect. A 5-pack is $1.95, or a 25-pack is $6.95. This is what we call the small tray. This will hold 2 sets of 4 of the 8. It's a little tight, but it will definitely fit. And it also holds 2 clusters of the 3/4-inch 20s of the soil blocks. So this is what we call the small. It's $2.95 for the 5-pack, or $12.95 for the 25-pack. And you know, y'all, I use all the sides of. I have probably 3 different cafeteria size trays. I have our green trays, and then I use all 3 of these. And then this is the 3rd size. This is the large one. This is $3.95 for the 5-pack and $15.95 for the 25-pack. Using the proper size tray for the number of blocks you're starting makes the best use out of your heat mat and your grow lights. So check that out. All right, friends, I just yesterday thought we love using these wooden plant markers in the garden, but we never mark enough stuff. You know, it's like you never, ever mark all the things you really, really want to. So this special bundle is going to help with that. $22.32 for 10 of these 18-inch, 10 of these 12-inch, and then it also includes our outdoor garden marker, which definitely holds up. Y'all, look at this. We've been using this as an example. This is 18 months out in the garden. This is some sweet peas, the royal mix that we actually pulled out of our garden out there. It will not just disappear one day, as many of those pens that we use that are not made for outdoor. So this is $22.32, and is a perfect way to mark your sunnies out in the field, y'all. All right, friends, I have used this so much in the last week. This is our espresso watering can. First off, and Suzanne loves to use it as a flower vase, right? I mean, it is really, really useful. It holds 2 cups of water, but this long spout makes it a perfect use for watering soil blocks. Because when you water on the side of the tray, trying not to wash the block away, this is what I call a gentle pour. So this is $29.95. It is stainless steel, and it is pretty enough to leave it sitting out with your house plants. If you have house plants in the house, you don't need to hide this and put it away. So we just really, really love the espresso can. Now, I am often asked, what fertilizer do I use to grow all those beautiful seedlings that y'all see me parading all over social media, right? And this is it. Neptune's Harvest, seaweed and fish. I follow the instructions when I'm watering indoors in my seed trays. I follow the houseplant instructions, which is 1 tablespoon to a gallon. I do this every Monday. So it just, to my normal watering chores, I water every morning first thing. On Mondays, I put this in, a tablespoon of this into every watering can because I have a gallon watering can. Then you are set for a week, and then out in the garden, you can actually mix this up in larger doses. You can do a soil drench, which means you can pour it on the soil, which just feeds the heck out of your soil, or you can sprinkle it on the foliage, or you can run it through your irrigation. So that's the Neptune's Harvest. Now, this is the same fertilizer that we use here on the farm. This is a dry organic base. It's chicken litter base, processed fertilizer, and it's a general purpose fertilizer, meaning I add this at every crop flip, and I don't add anything but this unless the soil test tells me to. Because let me tell you something, friends, when you're growing a lot of vegetables or a lot of flowers in the same spot, like a cutting garden that you're flipping, you're wringing the life out of the soil. You have to put this stuff back in. In a landscape, we don't really do any kind of fertilization because we have great fertile soil here. But in a working garden, this is 7.5 cups for a 10 by 10 spot, and it's got the directions right on here, and it's super easy. This is a 4-pound bag. It's $14.95, but over on our website, think about the coupon works in both places, y'all. Over on our big website, you can get a 10-pound bag of this. So you can check that out over there. Now, y'all, I can't believe it's followed me in here. This is flower support netting. All I have done for the last 3 weeks is pound steaks. Because I'm an old girl, I really pace myself at doing it like I do, depending on how long the bed is. 100-foot bed, I do 1 a day. Shorter beds, maybe 2. This is the flower support netting that we use to support our flowers, which is what the pounding's all about. And Bobo uses it as a planting grid. She rolls it out on the top of the bed because these are 6-inch spaces, which is basically what most of our crops are. It works out perfectly. Now you can get a 3 feet wide, and you can get a 20-foot piece for $11.95 or a 50-foot piece for $21.95. And you can also get a big roll over on our website if you need more than that. So this is what keeps your flowers upright. Now, this is our stem stripper, and it was made, I think, for roses, but that's not what we use it for. This is awesome, depending on how strong your hands are, as mine are breaking down as I'm getting older. For sunflowers, for hydrangeas, you just snap it around the stem, pull it, and they just strips them right down. So totally love this, and it's really easy on your hands, y'all. The stem stripper is $19.95, and it's one of those tools is the day that you have a tough strip and you remember you have it, it's what's gonna save the day for you, right? So the pouch and shear set, which I've always got mine on the hip. We live off of these clippers, y'all. Now, these are bonsai shears, which are small for my hand, which makes them really easy to use. This is what I use for everything, sunnies, hydrangeas, and then all of our garden flowers. The reason I keep a pair of clippers for more than a season is because I wear a pouch. This pouch has a clip, so I can just put it on my pocket. You don't have to have a belt on, y'all. That's the key, right? So this set is $55.95 together, but you can buy them separately here inside the app. I mean, the summer sale of $10 off 50 would be worth buying these right now. I'm telling you. So check this out. Now, for that beer, y'all. So I don't know about y'all, but I have a big shade garden, and you know who's a normal resident in a shade garden is actually slugs. And I have found that slugs, got to do this right, y'all. And it's fizzing. Slugs prefer Pabst Blue Ribbon, and that was established by Cornell University. And why is that? Because Pabst apparently has more yeast in it, right? So this is the perfect day. I thought I'd demonstrate this, y'all. This is our Slug X. And so this is, I mean, you can surely put a saucer out in your garden, but let me tell you the problems with that. Weather and golden retrievers. So you just fill the wells up in here. It's got 3. And those slugs smell that yeast. All right, y'all don't drink that now. You put the top back on it. I'm gonna try not to spill beer onto our tabletop, which has a rug on it. I put a cinder block on top of this to keep my golden retriever from eating pickled slugs, right? The smell of that yeast draws the slugs in these little side doors, and they fall in and they go swimming without a lifeguard. And you know, so sad story. Y'all, this is the Slug X. It is $19.95. This is the deal of a lifetime. You put it out in your garden, put a block on it, leave it, and then when it rains, it doesn't dilute it either. So this is one of those tools that I just can't imagine having a shade garden and not having this to actually use. Careful now, girls. If you hear a lot of giggling in a little while, we'll know what that's all about, right? Reminder, if you want to be entered into the giveaway, hit the button now. Susie Q has brought it up. Tap the buy button, and that will just add you to the wait list. Now, in case you've joined late, I'll answer a few questions at the end of the show. So you can ask a question by putting @Lisa, type in the question, and then the team is going to collect all those and ask a couple, and I would love to do that. So we always talk about this before. Y'all can't wait to show you these flowers. We always talk about the best way to store your seeds, cool and dry. When you store your seeds properly, you do not have to worry about sitting on seeds, because friends, you need to buy seeds when you meet them. When you see a seed like all these cool flowers that I'm showing you, it is not the proper time for most of us to start those. But I'm telling you, if you don't get them, then you'll never remember to get them. Not to mention they'll maybe get sold out. So desiccant packs, these are what absorb the moisture. So store your seeds in cool conditions with these in a sealed container, and that will take care of any moisture. Now, y'all, one of the...
Go ahead.
Am I supposed to be showing? What am I doing?
You can do the succession first.
Okay. So one of the things that we made especially for you guys that might be small market farmers getting started with growing sunflowers, this is our sunflower succession seed collection. This has 6 jumbo packs. Does it tell me how much this is anywhere? There. No? Okay. This has 6 jumbos.
$69.95.
It is $69.95, and that's a savings over buying them separately. These are all of my favorite Pro Cuts plus the Sun-Filled Green. So these are 6 individually packed seed packets, and this will get this in a pack of trays, and then you're good to go. Because the seedlings only stay in those trays for 3 weeks, 5 trays will have you on board to succession plant for the rest of the season, right? So that is the sunflower seed collection. So this, my friends, is the sunflower. These are Pro Cut bouquet mix, special mix that we make here in-house. And you can't really tell the difference probably. I am gonna set this down and pull a couple out. There's 4 different Pro Cuts in this mix. They're all in the orange family, but I wanted to show you, for instance, one of them is the Horizon, which is more, see how that bloom faces upwards, which makes making bouquets a dream. And here's another more deliberate one. I'm just worried that this might fall off.
I'm holding it.
Look how that is. And look, Brilliance, which is in this mix, I want to show you the difference. This is why we call this the bouquet mix. See how that, can y'all see the glow around the disc? This is orange, and it's hard. It's really, really hard for y'all to see the difference. The bouquet mix has orange, Orange Excel, Brilliance, and Horizon, and that's what's in this bucket. This is my go-to week after week. We start them every single week so that we have this kind of show where we can make a bouquet or we have a bouquet ingredient. And totally, completely love those. And look at these. This is Pro Cut Peach. So when you see this next to orange sunflowers, she definitely has a glow of peach. Really, really love these. This is a great early season starter too. We start this almost.
Gold light.
Yes.
Which one?
This one. And then look at this one, y'all. This is one of my favorites. Look at her with that green center. These are all Pro Cuts. This is the Gold Light. And this is a really universal flower. It'll go with any flower or bouquet or season of the year. Just look at that. How beautiful is that? And then this is the Sunfill. Sunfill is not a Pro Cut, but it follows the same 55 to 60 days, typically from seed to bloom. Now, Suzanne loves the funky bloom that comes, but the way we like to use it, see how it's just such an interesting bud. See how many layers of foliage? We grow it weekly to use as a filler tuck-in to our mixed bouquets. But this, it's hard to see. There's really not one here that's starting to see how that one's, and that's bug damage right there, y'all, in the middle. If you're still seeing that, you got to attend to your problems. But look how pretty that is. And this is Sunfill Green, and we absolutely, and it grows on the same timeline as the Pro Cuts. Now, we make all these mixes in-house based on customer favorites and requests. This is the Pro Cut mix. This has all the colors. I think it's 14 different colors. And if you haven't met Pro Cuts yet, this is a great place to start so you can see all the colors. Now, this is the Fall Medley. This is what we will starting probably like late July, because that means they'll be blooming July to August to set. This is what we're looking for in September and October, right? Totally love that. That way you don't have to buy all the separate colors, right? And then here is the Sunfill mix. This is what we just looked at. That was the Sunfill Green. And then this is the Sunfill Purple. And the two of these together in the same pack, which just makes, again, having that filler a little bit easier. You don't have to buy two separate packs.
And you can find that in the app.
Yeah, it was removed.
Oh, so that got removed from the show, y'all. But you can find the Sunfill mix in the app here. Then this is Vincent's Choice. Man, I can smell that basil. Vincent's Choice. And let me tell you what's different about this sunflower. And see, y'all, they all seem to look the same, but you don't know the whole story. Vincent's Choice has more petals. And what that means is if a grasshopper or a beetle chews on a petal, you can pluck it off and there's a petal behind it. That's not always the case. We love Vincent's Choice. And this is Vincent's Fresh. And that looks like the Pro Cut Gold Light, but it has more petals, y'all. That's the difference, right? So we totally love that. And then look at this one. This is Sunrich Gold. You know what's different about this one? Look how much shorter the petals are. These dry beautifully. We really, really love them. These are actually the two first sunflowers I ever grew. And then this is Sunbright. Yes, Sunbright. And again, the disc is bigger and the petals are shorter, but these take longer. I think they're 75 to 80 days, but you'll have to look on the website or on the description. Totally love that. All right, y'all, I wished you could smell. This is our first basil cut of the year. Bobo was pretty thrilled yesterday. This is Cinnamon Lemon's hot on its trail. See how the foliage is dark flower. This is really, really useful. And these are all edibles. You just use them as cut flowers, these particular varieties. Totally love that. And y'all, look at this. Let me just, I have to make the debut because this is one of my favorite flowers. Talk about planting every week. So basil, sunflowers, and this spring green coxcomb are warm season tender annuals. This is the beginning of the big show, y'all, for our farm. So this is a single stem. We planted this every week with sunflower not alongside, but along on that same schedule, because we could sell this over and over. And what's so special about spring green, look how clean the undersides are. That's why the seed costs more, y'all. It's called, all those years they hybridized this stuff pays off. Look, y'all. We're back. Now we're looking at cool flowers. This is the status mix, but there's no white and yellow in here. They're already done. How gorgeous is this? Fresh, and it will dry and look just like this. And then look at this one. This is the apricot status. How gorgeous. This was all fall planted, y'all. How beautiful. And then we also have patches that were very early spring planted that are starting to come on. And then look at this. This is Daucus, better known as Queen Anne's lace. This is Dara, and look at the variation. How beautiful. This is a great beneficial insect crop also. Really love that. And here's everybody's favorite. Everybody thinks this is Queen Anne's lace, but it's not. This is Ami Magus, and it is gorgeous. Always a customer favorite. Top selling florist crop. Love it for bouquets. Y'all, let me find it. This is the stage to harvest. Just starting to turn white. All this white stuff, that's too late to be selling it. And then here's dill. We cut it from flowering up to where it's starting to set seed heads. I thought I saw, here they are. See those seed heads? They last forever like this. People love this stuff. And now, y'all, I want you just to be thinking, how much of this do you think you would sell 4th of July? This is blue cockadee, scabiosus, pincushion flower. Really love this. This was always, every color is in demand when we were selling to commercial customers. And Susie Q loved having it for making bouquets. Look at this. So, these are aged. These are fresh. When I mean that, I mean these are like from last week. This is what was cut yesterday. Fire King. What a beauty. How many of these do you think you could sell 4th of July weekend? For reals. And then this is the Black Knight. The Black Knight, I don't grow as much of this as I do the other colors. And when they get white like this, they're too late to sell, y'all. The black is a nice pop, but you don't want a whole 100-foot row of this. You're better off to grow a 100-foot row of the white. And we like to cut this when it's still green inside. Really, really love that. And then look at this, buttercream. Its name is actually Fata Morgan. And look at this. This is the stage to cut it. See how it's green?
Wow.
I know. Y'all, it just can't capture this. Hey, are y'all coming to the open farm? Once a year. Don't want to miss it. All right, speaking of beautiful. And then look, this is in the scabiosus family too. This is ping pong. This is last week's. It's already dry. This is going in my house. How beautiful is this, y'all? Useful, useful, useful. And very in demand that you can go to home stores and they have fake that all over the place. It's very in vogue. Look, straw flowers. This is, it's peach mix. This is the most underused and underappreciated flower I've found because they are awesome. Look at this yellow. I want you to see just how big these flowers are. They're just enormous. This is the gold. This is the copper red. Look at that. Can you imagine this in the fall, y'all? We succession plant straw flowers. And then look at the mix. If you haven't met it yet, this is the one you should grow. And then you start branching. Once you see how awesome they are, then you start growing all the colors. Then this is silvery rose, which is kind of like a white, pale pinky. There's a lot of variation. It's just beautiful. Talk about for June weddings and May weddings and Mother's Day. Holy guacamole. All right, look at this. My favorite color, y'all, orange. So all of these colors, except for the peach, are in the mix. That is really beautiful. Then this is the bright rose. This is just deeper pinks, but you can see it'll fade out to lighter pinks. This is really useful.
Which white is that?
This is vintage white.
Where's creamy?
There should be one
Is that back here? Oh, there's one stem. Oh no.
Yeah, so we'll just go with this one. There's two whites. One is clearer than the other, but I'm telling you, friends, you can barely tell them apart. So most of us will just take whichever one we've got in stock. That is really beautiful. And then look at this, y'all. What color is this called, Suzanne? Can you move it up?
Purple red.
Purple red. Look at that. And then we do have a little feverfew this week. This is the Tetra White Wonder. That is a really useful one. And then look at this. This is Sunny Ball. This is my favorite. I mean, this could be added to any bouquet. To any bouquet. Really love that.
Madam Butterfly.
Yep. And then we're still bringing in Madam Butterflies from the field. That's the double bloom. Totally beautiful. And then this is Opus. They're not the greatest quality anymore, but they're perfect bouquet ingredients. And y'all, what do you think? This is Old Billy Balls, better known as Golden Drumstick, Crabspedia. Totally love this. Dries exactly like this. You know, you don't have, it does not lose its color. And so let me tell you about, I'm just going to show you one of my, what has become to be one of my favorites. This is called Carthamus or Safflower. And this is the bloom, which we haven't seen a lot of that yet this year. I've shown it several times because I like to use it before it even blooms as a foliage filler. What does this mean? It means you have a much wider window to harvest. So that's what the bloom looks like. Super sturdy plant. And what a brancher she is. There was a central stem in here. Can you see that? It was super tall out in the garden. And each one of these stems, I'm just going to break them off while we're talking here so they can put it in a bucket. This is the sturdiest stems I have ever seen, y'all. You could probably club somebody with this. All right. And there you go. It is a great fall planted and very early spring planted here for us. Now, these are the giant poppy pods that we cut fresh last week. You can see they're drying. Our goal was always to use them and sell them as fresh green pods, but now they're in the process of drying, and that's how they're coming along. And then look at this, y'all. Talk about great bouquets. This is a Mobium, and this was fall planted. Really beautiful, great bouquet builder. And friends, we had this seed grown for us this year because we couldn't find it anywhere else. This is Limbata Monarda. It's not like any other bee balm. It is a hardy annual. It's not invasive by spreading like some of the Monardas can be. Totally beautiful, and it has fragrance. And this is not real showy, y'all, but what I wanted to show you, because we didn't have a very big patch at all, these are the heirloom carnations. Look how tall they are. This is the tallest I've ever grown them. And they aren't a big flower, but they have a spicy smell, so they can add scent to your bouquets. So you don't grow a 100-foot bed of these, y'all, but it's really nice to have a 10-foot bed that you could tuck 2 or 3 of these together in a bouquet to actually smell that. So next up is our Chinese forget-me-nots, and up first is the rose. And these are pretty dadgum tall. They're starting to shatter because we have some from last week. The Chinese forget-me-nots, direct sown in the fall, and they get taller as the season goes on, y'all. Look how tall that is. So that's the rose, and who does not need blue flowers? Never has that been said, I don't want any more blue flowers in my bouquet. That's like blue of an eastern bluebird. Totally amazing. Really love that. And then you could never have enough yarrow. This is the summer berries, which has some of these great colors. I grow the summer berries, and there's another one in the app called Colorado Sunset. They have different sets of colors. And yes, friends, there is perennial yarrow. This is not it. This will reseed, but you lose all these fabulous colors when you allow reseeding. We fall plant it every year. It's winter hardy up to zone 5, I believe. So most of us can plant it in the fall. Are y'all ready to meet my Rudbeckias now? This is my new favorite. Have y'all ever, we may just have to spend a minute on this. Look at that. Look how beautiful that is. This is Maya. Is that how we say it?
M-A-Y-A?
Maya. I'm sorry, y'all. You know, I have trouble with pronunciations. Maya is what we're going with. Maya. I have to remember that. Maya. Look at these blooms. Look at this double. Oh my gosh. And she truly this year was the first one to bloom. Really love this. Great. This has been trimmed. Perfect stem length. This is perfect bouquet size. Look at that. And they're pushing me. I can't talk about that one anymore. But then there's this. This is Prairie Sun. And why is she perfect? Because she's bright and light in color. The minute I said that, it kind of lit up, didn't it? This will go with anything, and it doesn't add darkness to the bouquet. Really love Prairie Sun. And then, y'all, this is I started my flower farm 27 years ago on 3 flowers, and this was one of them. This is Rudbeckia Indian Summer. Look how big that bloom is. It's almost as big as my hand. Indian Summer is amazing. Really love that. And then look at this one. This is Denver Daisy, which I didn't think that I would like this one. I cannot tell you. This draws some of the specific native bees on our farm that get really yellow britches, and when they're crawling around on this dark circle, y'all, it is just, I love it. I just totally and completely love it. And then these are just getting started. They're a little bit later. This is Cherry Brandy. I didn't think I'd like this one, kind of like that dark scabby, but having some of this to put one in a bouquet to pop up the drama is really beautiful. All of these Rudbeckias, which are winter hardy to zone 5, were fall planted, so they have super long stems. This is Cherokee Sunset, and there are other colors that just haven't started to bloom yet. So this is just a really great mix. And this is my used to be favorite, y'all. This is Goldilocks. Goldilocks used to be the first one to bloom. Now she's been beaten by Maya. And she's a double, perfect size for bouquets. We're still growing her. And then she does funky things. See this fasciated? People love that, y'all. Don't think it's a problem, because people just love it. And this particular variety does it no matter where I plant it. Really love that. And so is this waitlisted or is it available?
No, it's available.
Y'all get ready to hit the buy button. We are in love. This is Chimchimney Rudbeckia. I am so in love with this. Susie Q wasn't convinced when I was cutting it out in the field and she was filming me, but when she saw it inside in the bucket, she totally fell, didn't you, sister? Mm-hmm. This is the coolest stuff, y'all. And this is why we grow all of the Rudbeckias, y'all. They're all a little bit different. And here, this is on a wait list. This is the Green Dragon Cress. This stuff is a monster, y'all. Filler. I mean, Bobo loves it as a flower arranger. Suzanne loves it as a bouquet maker. And I love growing it because it's an easy keeper. So get on the wait list and wait till you see this little beauty. Do y'all grow Tweedia? Tweedia is a cool flower. Did you know?
Waitlist.
It's waitlisted. We're in process. And so this is the result of a very early spring planting. Are y'all seeing how long that is? Tweedia. Totally love it. I mean, this would be an amazing little bouquet in itself. I mean, another blue flower, y'all. There are so many cool flower blues. Totally love this stuff. So get on the wait list and you'll be the first to know as soon as it gets packed up. So friends, it's time to wrap it up. And remember to stick around for the Q&A after we get through all this ending business here. And so if you have never visited our website, thegardenersworkshop.com, y'all, there are so many things over there full of free resources for you. There's videos. We have years of blogs. And both of our podcasts you can connect us with. Over there you'll find Field and Garden as well as Seed Talk with Lisa and Lane. And yesterday's episode was the 5 common questions that we get about coxcomb. So the Seed Talk with Lisa and Lane has a PowerPoint program to go with it that you can watch over on YouTube. And Lane produces those podcasts based on questions that we get. So that's why there just seems to be such timely episodes, right? So check that out, and we love it when you leave reviews and subscribe to our podcast. That helps us so much. So, you know, on Wednesdays, we do an Ask a Flower Farm. We host Ask a Flower Farm on the Gardener's Workshop Instagram account. This week, we have a special person for you. And so if you never heard of our guest host, Lenny Larkin of B-Side Farm, she is hosting the Ask a Flower Farmer. She's on the West Coast. She has been a flower farmer for over a decade, and I love working with Lenny. She and I served on the board of the ASCFG, and so bring your questions for Lenny. She had farm stand. She has a lot of expertise, and I know that you're going to love bringing your questions for her. And then, friends, remember to meet me back here. I think next week on Friday, it's Cool Meets Warm about flowers. You know, I think we might be doing some bouquet demonstrations or making some arrangements or something like that. So maybe not, Suzanne just told me, but I know that we're doing, oh, that's right, Susie Q is going to be, Suzanne will be running the show next week. So we'll have lots of warm flowers and cool flowers, and we'll talk about making bouquets with them. How'll that be? All right, friends, we have a winner of our $25 giveaway, and I surely hope that you're here. And our winner of the $25 store credit is Sarah, S-P-A-U-R. How do you think you say that? Sarah Spar, S-P-A-U-R. Sarah, if you are here, give us a big old shout out into the comments, because we would love to drop this $25 right into your cart. Imagine getting $25, a $10 off coupon for the Hello Summer sale. Remember that the coupon code to shop is DEAL, D-E-A-L, and that expires on Sunday. What date is that? June. What date is it?
I'm looking.
Wait a minute.
The 9th.
June 9th of 2024.
Sarah's here.
Oh, Sarah's here. Congratulations, Sarah. So Kelly is literally dropping $25 right into your cart right now. So the Hello Summer sale, this is the coupon code DEAL. That is good until Sunday at midnight. Tell me again, June 9th, midnight Eastern time. You can use this in the app and on our big website. So you can go over there and take advantage of, you know, some of the stuff that's not over here. So friends, till we meet again. Ciao.
We're going to do the Q&A.
Oh, not chowing yet. Sorry. I didn't have questions up, so I didn't. Where are they? There we go. We have questions. See, y'all, if I don't have it on my paper in front of me, I can't do it.
Around for the live Q&A.
Okay. All right. So this is a great first question. Will seeds be good for 2025? The simple answer to that is yes. If you've purchased them from us this year, yes, they should be. But it really is all about how you store them. They need to be kept cool and dry. In a kitchen cabinet in an air-conditioned house or a heated house, they should be perfectly fine. But you can make them even last longer than that if you store them in dry conditions. That's why we use those desiccant packs. Drop the seeds, the desiccant pack in a Ziploc bag or an airtight container. Let it sit on your counter for 2 days to let it absorb any moisture. And we're talking humidity, y'all, not moisture that you're actually seeing. And then you can pop them into the refrigerator or the freezer, and they'll last even longer than that. There's a great blog over on our website. If you search storage on our blog, you'll find that. All right. Oh, I'm having trouble getting sunflowers out of the 128 cell packs. Any tricks to getting those out? For us, it's so funny, when Bobo comes to work in the morning, when we're in sunflower season, she has to walk past our sunflower trays that are out on the porch. She stops and pulls a few to see if she's going to be planting sunflowers. For us, it really comes down to 2.5 to 3 weeks is our optimal time. We recommend planting those sunflowers by the time they're 3 weeks old. It's how vigorous the root system is and how well attached the stem is to that root system. And the way you ensure that is by starting your sunflower seeds on a seedling heat mat. That gets the roots to jump and to grow vigorously. And then once they hit that, I mean, that's for the 2.5 to 3 weeks. What makes that difference is if Bobo pulls on it and it doesn't pull right out of the plug. We are not digging plugs out. We pull the stem and it just pops right out. Perhaps they're not mature enough yet, or they don't have a vigorous enough root system. So you need to work on that part. Let's see. Do I need to disinfect the plug trays after each use, or will rinsing them with watering hose be okay? You know, there's a lot of different schools on this thought, but I have never disinfected anything in 27 years of flower farming. I have never wiped off my clippers. I have never cleaned trays, or, I mean, it might be we haven't grown crops, I guess, that have disease issues. So to answer that question, no. But unless you have a problem, you know, if you get a disease, then you'll have to go down that road. So go up one. Oh, there you go. How to start. Courses, books, plants. I know all of them, but in what order would you suggest to be a flower farmer in 8A, Wilmington, North Carolina? You're in the same zone as I am. So A, follow along with me. But the book, the Cut Flower Handbook, is really the 20,000 foot view of if you want to grow flowers on any volume, small or 2 acres, it's all in that book. You just apply that application. Of course, we have courses that once you read it, you get some concept, and you've got to do the work. You've got to start. I mean, now's a great time to start, to plant a garden. If you don't have customers yet and you just want to do a test run, which I don't think people should do that, you should just get down to business and go for it. But if you don't, make a commitment in your mind. I'm going to take 10 bouquets a week to the nursing home, to the fire station, to the police department, or 20 bouquets, and treat it like you're in business. And doing the work, and that'll clear the air for you really, really quickly. I think the Cut Flower Handbook is probably the most complete view of growing cut flowers. Doesn't talk about selling them, but that's a whole nother, and Flower Farming School Online, of course, will take you to that next level of actually, you know, building a commercial garden, finding customers, and but the flowers that are in the Cut Flower Handbook are the flowers that I literally grow here on my farm. So I hope that helps. Here's the $1 million question that I hear often. Is it too late to plant cool flowers in Zone 8? Yes. It's too late in most places to grow cool flowers unless you live if you're in the States, in New England, where you have cool, long, low humidity summers. So that is the number one question, is people see all these beautiful cool flowers and they want to plant them. Typically, except for warm, typically with cool flowers, when you're seeing the blooms, it is past time. But friends, here's the big response to that. You buy the seeds and you paper clip them on your calendar after you learn when you're supposed to plant them, which the Cut Flower Handbook walks you through all of that. You paper clip them to the calendar when you are supposed to plant them. And typically when you see something blooming, it is not the proper time, whether it's a tree, a shrub, a perennial, or an annual. It's not often the time to actually plant them, so it's too late. All right, here's our last question. When I harvest my zinnias and I want to cut above 2 or 3 sets of leaves, a lot of my zinnias have brown, crunchy leaves at the bottom. Should I go above these 3 sets of healthy green leaves instead? No. So, you know, zinnias are like magnets for disease and pests. We have Japanese beetles on our farm right now. You count those as the leaves, because the reason that you cut that deep is when you're cutting really deep and you're getting a super long stem, but you don't really need a long stem, it's not about how long you need the stem. It's about making the cut where the plant needs you to make it, because that's where the new sprouts come from. You want to make the cut low on the plant so that more strong, straight stems grow up from that. So count those, even though they're brown and crunchy, count them as the leaf. So, friends, now it's time to wrap up, right, sister? All right, just smelling that beer maybe made me a little lightheaded, right? All right, friends, till we meet again, same time, same place, right here in the app, and hope to see you there. Ciao.